This is my Aunt Kathy. On June 15th, she passed away. She was always carried herself with just such dignity and grace, and it was always so inspiring to me. And losing her right after I started my new job has left me asking, what am I supposed to do now? So I stole a dog, loaded him up in my car, and drove an hour north until I got to the woods. And I set up my tarp about 10 minutes before it started raining. You might be asking yourself, is she crazy? So let me introduce myself. Hi, my name's Lauren. I just graduated from Salisbury with a degree in outdoor education and biology. And this is where I work. I work at a ropes course, doing crazy stuff like this all day, so this kind of stuff is kind of up my alley. After I found out that my aunt passed away, I knew I had to get to the woods as soon as possible. Anyone who knows me or has ever known me knows that the woods are basically my second home, and I was raised in this park, and I know every trail like the back of my hand. And when in grief, we gotta run home to what we know. And what I know is the woods and my writing. So I wanted to write about everything I'm feeling after losing Aunt Kathy. And if you would like to listen to it, it's here for you as well. I hope it helps. My aunt's sudden death knocked me down at the knees and forced me to crawl towards my goals when I was so close to running to them. I'm angry at times, I'm selfish at others. I cry and rage, rejoice and mourn simultaneously. I've experienced every emotion of the human experience, and I'm numb beyond measure. Grief is cruel. I go from experiencing everything and drowning in my grief to functioning perfectly normally, for as much as the word normal means now. It's either all or none. As a biologist at heart, I can't help but marvel at the beauty of the human survival system now that I rely on it to move me out of bed each morning. In my mind, I've become nothing but a scientist, observing myself from the outside, both Frankenstein and his monster. I am alert when I need to be, but it's like dragging a breath with lungs filled with water. I'm sad at times, numb at others, and can't help but be angry. They say God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers, but haven't I shown my strength time and time again? I believe in battles. I don't know if I believe in God. I have turned to him time and time again, seeking comfort, guidance, one prayer answered, 1 ounce of hope, the proverbial carrot. My grief is overpowering at times, yet small and manageable at others. Any halfway competent C-level student would be able to sense a theme developing in my life at the time. The more joy fills my life, the smaller my grief becomes. But at other moments, it is irreversibly present. I break it down simply. Everything for the past 3 weeks has to be simple and manageable for me to survive. And I figured it out. The larger that I am, the smaller it is. So I do things to make myself larger and make my grief smaller. So I run back to what I know. I know Tuckahoe. I know these trails like the back of my hand. The creek is my second home. And there are positives, of course, to all of this. At least my boss knows I'm not lying when I put positive mental attitude under skills on my resume. Throughout this, I've been very scared to talk about everything. In other situations in my life, I've been afraid to talk openly. And yet, grief is the one topic that everyone can understand. Everyone has grieved people, everyone is grieving people, and everyone will grieve people. So if you are here with me, if you're listening to what I'm saying, then whoever you are grieving, I hope that you know that they loved you and that you loved them and they knew that you loved them. With Aunt Kathy, she was taken right as I had the time to start to get to know her. I was planning on taking a trip down to Florida to see her. I had started looking into hotels, and once I graduated and things were smoother, I was going to ask her what weekend would work for me to come down and see her. And now she's gone. And she's not going to know that I was trying to come down and see her. Distance is a funny thing. Most of my life, I lived 1,000 miles or more from Aunt Kathy. And yet, she had such a massive impact on me. And as I'm sitting here, sitting by my fire and making my video, I can't help but feel like I'm writing the eulogy that I'm not close enough family to give. For even though it wasn't her hands that patched every scraped knee and comforted every nightmare, I still always ran up to her with enthusiasm after all my accomplishments. I feel like as her niece, I'm not close enough family to mourn her this closely, and yet it's just a testament to who she was as a person. For in order for her to leave this big of a hole in my life, she had to have filled an even greater space than even I realized. And I am so honored that I had the chance to know her, and I had the chance to have her in my life. Because what a difference she has made for me.